Hey everybody, I have an important announcement that I get to make about our church after 2 months, a little bit more than that, of not being together to worship together. This Sunday, that's all going to change. We are going to come back together so that we can worship with one another and have fellowship as we worship God together. After much deliberation, we've been talking about it for a long time. The elders have now decided that this Sunday we are going to do an outdoor singing service. Now this service is going to be held, as I said, Sunday morning, 10:30 to 11 o'clock. A half hour, which is going to include a scripture reading, it's going to include prayer, and it's going to include singing songs to worship God together as a body. And now the sermon is not going to be preached live this Sunday. It's going to be just like it has been. We're going to have our video sermon that's going to come out. The links will be posted on Saturday night, and we would encourage you to watch that sermon before or after the service on Sunday, however you would prefer to do that. We know, by the way, that this singing service, it's only a half hour, it's outdoors. It's not exactly what all of us would ultimately desire. It's not what we ultimately want to do. We want to be back together fully in the way we were before. But I would say, even though this isn't exactly what we wanted it to be, it is a step in the right direction. We're going to start small, and we'll build up as we can. Two reasons that we decided to go this direction instead of a full service that would be indoors and all those things, which we know some churches are doing. The reason we made our choice is for the sake of honoring the guidelines that have been laid down by our government, by meeting outside and by also observing social distance guidelines. We also want to protect the safety of one another. We want to protect the safety of all the members of our body. So with that being said, we are asking that you honor social distancing practices and face covering guidelines during the service. So this is how that will look, just so you know how to be prepared. First of all, when you come in and you park in the driveway, we're going to ask that you try to park your cars about 6 feet apart, just to make sure that there's not going to be any close contact between vehicles in the parking lot. Both parking lots will be open, both the front and the back, so make sure you use those well. When you get here in the side lawn, you're going to see that there are going to be flags that are going to be posted throughout the lawn. They're going to be about 12 feet apart, and that is where we want everyone who is in a family group or whoever you've been quarantining with to stand around each of these flags so that we will remain about 12 feet apart from one another, which is the social distance guideline for when we sing. And so we're going to ask you to do that when you get here. And also, then you're going to stand there and sit there during the service. You can bring a chair if you wish, or you can come and you can just stand there and sing with us. Also, as far as masks go, what we're going to ask is that you would wear a mask both to and from your vehicle, and also any time that you're going to be closer than 6 feet to somebody. If that happens, we would ask you to wear a mask just for the protection of other people. Once you get into your spot and you are socially distanced from one another, then we would encourage you to take the mask off so that you can sing and still be able to breathe. And so we're hoping that that will happen and make it so that everyone will stay safe and we can still enjoy fellowship and worship together. Restrooms, as far as that goes, they will be open, but we're really asking that you only use those if it's an emergency. And also, just so you know, for parents of kids, we're not going to have any kids services, and we're also going to close down the playground. So if your kids are going to come with you for this service, that's great, but just make sure they stay with you and also abide by the social distancing guidelines. We would appreciate that. Now, we understand that these things are not fun. We understand these things aren't desirable to have to do when we come together. But this is how we feel and have decided that we need to conduct our service for now. We know that many people in the body feel that these measures are too extreme and maybe even unnecessary. And maybe just people aren't concerned about the virus any longer. If this is you, please keep in mind that the social distancing and the mask guidelines that we're giving, really, it's not for you. What masks and social distancing is for is to protect others. And so even if you don't believe in all this and you think it's crazy, which I know some of you do, we would strongly, strongly encourage you, please respect others by keeping your distance and by wearing a mask when applicable. It is our hope and prayer that all of us will indeed honor one another and abide by these guidelines. That's what our hope is as we come together this Sunday. But if you do still feel uncomfortable with those guidelines, you feel they've gone too far, Or maybe you're on the other side and you feel that getting together with us on Sunday is a risk to your health and you wish not to join us for the service. We completely understand. It is our sincere hope and desire that we will be meeting more normally in the near future, God willing. So please, use your best judgment as you decide to come to join us. In the meantime, please let us know if you have any more questions. We'd be happy to talk to you, any of the elders. You can contact us. I can't wait to see many of you on Sunday so we can sing together and fellowship with each other once more. We'll see you then.